Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get started in just a few moments. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for our Carbine webinar, hosted through South Bay Credit Union in partnership with Autoland. I'm going to be introducing our CLO, Chief Lending Officer, David Ellings. David will be introducing our representative within South Bay Credit Union, who will be your point of contact, as well as introducing our speaker. David, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Have to make sure that you can hear me. Welcome. I hope everyone had a good day today. If you are at work or if you are not, we hope that you are all staying safe and being comfortable where you are. Today, we are kicking off our virtual auto loan promotion in conjunction with Autoland. Autoland is a broker for ordering autos through online services. We have a relationship and have had a relationship with Autoland for several decades. So that is what we're doing. We're going to be starting that off, and we're going to be doing our promotion with Autoland through the end of July. Our connection, our loan officer, who is especially associated with Autoland, is Sarah Aguilar. Sarah's been with the credit union for several years, so I can't say how many, it's forever. And she has had a good relationship with members and Autoland in helping them getting their loans funded and getting members to pick up their cars. 14 years and counting from Sarah. So certainly a seasoned loan processor and loan officer for the credit union. So what we will be doing today is introducing our representative from Autoland. And before we do that, just a couple of information to know about how to use Zoom in this area. At the bottom of your screen, if you have any questions whatsoever, we have a chat box currently right now. It looks like there's 2 entries in there. Go ahead and click on that and you can type in your questions. During the presentation and after the presentation, we will be submitting these questions to our professionals. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you Tim Ketchapaw with Autoland.
There we go. Can everybody hear me better now?
Yes, we can hear you, Tim.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm Tim with Autoland. Autoland, we are your credit union's auto buying service. So we're part of your member benefits. When you join your credit union, you get us. When you're ready to buy a car, we help you through the whole process. Locate a vehicle, negotiate the deal, take your trade-in, new or pre-owned, and we have the vehicle delivered to you as well. Very easy process. But today, we're going to talk about some of the things to expect when you go to a dealership, what you should be prepared for before you buy a vehicle. And if you are going to step foot at a dealership, I'll give you some tips and tricks on that. I've been with Autoland for 8 years. I love it. It's been fun. Prior to that, I was in the dealership world, specifically with Honda, for 16 years. So I've been around a while. I know a lot of the tricks dealerships use, and we're going to help you through that. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and then we'll get started with the presentation. All right. I trust everyone can see my screen okay.
Yes, we can. And Tim, I'm wondering if you're able to either speak a little louder or
Move a little closer.
because
How's that? Can you hear me better now? Is that good? That volume?
Yes, a bit better.
All right. I'll speak a little louder. There we go. All right. So a few things we're going to talk about today. What we're going to cover. We're going to talk about setting your budget. Probably one of the most important parts of buying a vehicle is setting your budget so you know what you're going to spend. Financing, researching cars, car buying options, types of vehicles, trade-ins, maintenance and insurance, and of course, your credit union difference. So we'll start by setting your budget. One of the most important things you can do before you even think about going to a dealership or buying a vehicle is get pre-approved. A couple reasons we're going to want to do this. When you're buying a vehicle, knowledge is power. And when you get pre-approved with your credit union, you're going to know what your budget is. You're going to know what your credit score should be, and you're going to know what your payments are going to be, all before stepping foot into the dealership. When you go to the dealership, if you don't know that information, they are going to take advantage of it. So you definitely want to get pre-approved first. Very easy. South Bay Credit Union, you can do it all online if you'd like, and they make it very easy for you. Another thing you want to pay attention to is how much can you realistically afford? You know, be honest with yourself. You know, if you can afford $400 a month, great. But if you can't, you know, maybe you're not going to go for that Beamer. Maybe you should go for a really nice loaded Accord. But know what you can afford. They recommend that no more than 10% of your pre-tax income on an auto payment. And includes insurance as well. Expect the unexpected. And what we mean by that is when you're talking about buying a vehicle, you know, look into insurance, because if you're buying a newer vehicle, chances are your insurance is going to go up. So you'll want to know how much that's going to go up. Tax and DMV fees, people forget that all the time. You get a pre-approval, say for $20,000. Well, keep in mind, you need to put your tax and license fees in there as well. So even if the vehicle's $20,000, add in LA roughly 11% to that. So don't forget about those. And then new versus pre-owned vehicles, you know, everybody loves a new car. You get the new car smell. Everything's perfect. There's no stains or scratches or dings or dents or anything like that. And again, the new car smell. Your interest rates are lower, which is great. And then on pre-owned cars, good thing with pre-owned is they do cost less. So you get a little more for your money, which is great. However, your interest rate could be a little higher. You know, so you want to pay attention to that when you're looking to set your budget for buying a vehicle. Sorry, let me move my mouse here. Sorry about that. And then, you know, you don't want to forget when you're talking about your budget and what you can afford is your day-to-day expenses. And by that, we mean fuel costs. You know, are you buying a vehicle that gets better fuel mileage, so you're going to spend a little less money on gas, or are you buying a bigger vehicle that's not going to get as good as MPG, or are you buying a nicer vehicle that requires premium fuel, so it's going to cost you more to fill up every time you need to fill up. Maintenance cost, oil changes, tires, that kind of thing you want to pay attention to as well. If you're buying a nicer vehicle and you've got a low profile tire on there, or you're buying a truck that's got a big tire on it, that's going to cost you more. Oil changes, a lot of the newer cars come with synthetic oil only, so you need to pay attention. Your $30, $40 oil change now could be $100 depending on what vehicle you get. So just pay attention to things like that. Know your credit score. And again, this is why you want to get pre-approved with South Bay Credit Union ahead of time, is know your credit score. Knowing your credit score is going to do a lot for you when you go to the dealership. Dealers, they make money in a lot of different areas besides selling the vehicle, but one of those is on interest rate. And if you don't know what your credit score is, you don't know what your interest rate should be, and they're going to mark that interest rate up so they can make a little more money on the back end for that. So know your credit score so you don't get taken advantage of there. And then South Bay Credit Union, if you go online, they have their auto loan finance calculators you can use online, which make it really easy. So you can calculate, what the cost of the vehicle is, what your down payment is, if you have a trade, what your trade value is. It'll calculate all that for you and give you a payment, which is really nice. So you know ahead of time what you're going to expect when you buy a vehicle. Maintenance and protection. Another thing you want to include when you're figuring out your budget is not to forget these coverages. You have your gap insurance, very important, guaranteed asset protection. And what gap insurance is it's going to cover, say you buy a vehicle for $25,000 and say you pay it down, it's 3 years later, but the vehicle gets stolen or it gets totaled. Well, you still owe $20,000 on that vehicle, but your insurance books it out and it's only worth, say, $15,000. So that extra $5,000 you have to come up with. Your gap insurance is going to take care of that for you. Maintenance programs, mostly on the German side, BMW and Audi, you can buy a maintenance program that'll pay for the maintenance for the first 5 years of the vehicle's life. So you want to pay attention to that. If you want LoJack on your vehicle, to protect it, especially here in Southern California, if you're buying a Toyota or a Honda, you're definitely going to want a LoJack because it's the number one stolen vehicles out here in LA. So you're going to want to pay attention to that and see what the cost is and then include that into the budget. And then, of course, your extended warranty. If you plan on keeping the vehicle, getting a warranty to 100,000 miles is the way to go, just to, peace of mind, keep it covered. So you'll want to include that as well. Now, with your gap and your warranty, your credit union offers a wonderful program with that, and the cost is going to be so much less than if you buy it at the dealership. So dealers will make money on gap and extended warranty. Your credit union is there to serve you. They want to help you. So their gap and warranty protection is going to be much less than what you're going to pay at the dealership. So don't pay for it at the dealership. If you're going to get that, get it with your financing in your credit union. So financing, if you need help to pay for your car, most of us can't pay cash for the vehicle we want. So we're going to finance the vehicle. And it's basically arranging financing ahead of time. Again, get your pre-approval. That way you know what your budget's going to be. You know what your payment's going to be. Get the loan with South Bay Credit Union. You can get a pre-approval online. You can go into the branch and get a pre-approval. But do that all before you buy the vehicle. Again, knowledge is power when it comes to dealership. You'll hear me say that a few more times. Auto loans have the following terms. So with South Bay Credit Union, it's really nice because they'll go up to 120% of the financing on your loan, which means that could cover your warranty and that could cover your gap and that could cover your tax and license. So instead of paying out of pocket for that, they'll include that with your financing, depending on your score, of course, but they can include that all in your financing. So you'll have one low payment instead of having to come out of pocket more than what your down payment would be. You can get up to a 7-year repayment period. Down payments may be required to lower your monthly payment if you want. There may be a stipulation that requires a down payment, but all that you would know ahead of time because you're going to get pre-approved. And then your interest rate is going to be based on your credit score. That's probably the main part of it. If you have a great credit score, your interest rate is going to be lower. It's also going to depend on the term you get. If you do a 60-month term versus an 84-month term, there's going to be a difference in the interest rate. It lowers as the term lowers as well. And then your model year of your vehicle. The newer the vehicle, the lower the interest rate. So different car research options for you. If you're going to buy a vehicle, definitely check it out. You've got the web at our fingertips, right? So check it out. Check out the reviews. Check out the reliability reports online. Use South Bay Credit Union's car buying services that they offer you. Make it easy for yourself. Some online resources, you've got TrueCar, AAA, Costco, manufacturer websites, so you can take a look and see what's out there. Kelly Blue Book, KBB, or Edmunds.com is another place where you can check out pre-owned prices or new pricing. Auto Trader for pre-owned vehicles, you can check out pricing there. Dealer websites, you can always go on the dealer website to see what they have in stock. Careful with that right now. Times are a little different with COVID and everything going on. A lot of dealers have streamlined their process and they don't have as many people working for them right now. So their inventory is not being updated online. So just because it says it has, it doesn't, you may want to make sure. Carfax, if you're getting a pre-owned vehicle, you always want to make sure you pull that Carfax to see, with a little bit of the history of the vehicle, where it came from, there's been maintenance done on it, accidents, things like that. And then, of course, my personal favorite, Autoland. It's going to be the easiest. Everything we talked about, you can do at Autoland. Go to your South Bay Credit Union's website, click on the Autoland link. It's going to take you to a co-branded site, which I'll show you later. New cars, pre-owned vehicles, you get a trade-in evaluation. You can do it all right there, and it's going to give you MSRP numbers, so you can kind of get a ballpark of what the vehicle's going to be. Real easy. We're not going to bug you. Unless you click submit, we won't call you. Another thing too, when you go to a manufacturer website or a dealer website, be careful of the information you input. They're going to ask you for everything. They want your name, your phone number, your email, your firstborn's name. They want everything, right? And they're going to use that information to keep calling you, keep calling you, keep calling you. So what you want to do is if you go to those websites, only enter your zip code. You can enter your zip code so that way they know what area you're in. It's going to show you cars that relate to that territory. But don't enter any more information than that, because they will call you and hound you and call you and call you and call you. Autoland.com, we don't do that. Unless you hit submit. When you hit submit, then you'll enter your information, and of course we'll call you because you requested a call. So Autoland.com, very easy. All right, so some car buying options. Of course, there's the dealership, right? You go into the dealer. So what you're going to want to do is get your pre-approval, because you've done that ahead of time, so you know what you can pay, you know what your budget's going to be, you know what your interest rate should be, and you know what your payment should be. So take your South Bay Credit Union pre-approval offer with you. And doing that shows the person that you talk to, the greeter or the salesperson, that you've already researched this. You know what your payment should be. You know what you can afford, and you know what your interest rate is. So it's not going to alleviate all the games they play, but it's certainly going to make it easier for you. Another trick I'm going to give you is, before you go to the dealership for that test drive, you're going to want to make a copy of your driver's license, make a copy of your proof of insurance. So one of the tricks that they used to use at the dealership, and they still use it, is when you come in, of course, if you're going to test drive, they're going to ask for your driver's license and proof of insurance, because they need to make sure it's valid. Give them the copies. What they'll do is they'll take it back. If you give them your license, they're going to take it back, and they're going to keep it safe in their manager's office, locked up in a drawer, whatever it is. And then they're going to come back out and you're going to go on your test drive. So if you come back and you want to buy the car, no problem. We'll get you to the closer, we'll get you the finance, we'll get you moved on. But if you don't, one of the things he's going to do is he's going to say, okay, no problem. Let me go get the license and registration back for you. So he's going to leave you out there for 10 to 15 minutes. He's going to come back. He's not going to have your driver's license or your proof of insurance. He's going to come back and say, you know what? I'm so sorry. I locked it up in my manager's desk because we want to keep it safe. He's out to lunch. He's not going to be back for 30 to 60 minutes. But while we wait, why don't we get to test drive another car? And he's doing that because he wants to keep you at the dealership. You know, dealers do a lot of studies. And one of the studies that they did, and it was eye-opening, when a person's at a dealership, if they've spent less than 90 minutes at a dealership, there's only a 12% chance that they're going to buy a vehicle at that dealership. If they spent 90 minutes or more, it jumps up to about 83% chance that they're going to buy a vehicle from that dealership. So that salesman or the greeter's job is to keep you there for 90 minutes. And that's one of the tactics they use, is leaving your driver's license in a safe location and not giving it back to you. Same with trade-in. If you give him your trade-in keys, he's going to hang on to them to keep you there for the 90 minutes. So make a copy of your driver's license and your proof of insurance. When you go and they ask you for that, give them the copy of it. That way, when you're ready to leave after the test drive, you can just leave. There's not much they can do with the copy of it. So you can take off and you don't have to be trapped there for the 90 minutes. So you're going to go through all that with the greeter. He's going to take you on the test drive. You know, his job is a yes man, right? His job is to tell you yes to anything you want. You know, if you see a $50,000 car and I'm only going to pay 30 for it. Yeah, no problem. We'll work something out. Let's go test drive it. Or I want this $60,000 car, but I can only afford $400 a month. No problem. I'm sure we can work something out. You know what? I really want $10,000 for my $5,000 trade-in. I'm sure we can work something out. Let's go test drive the car. His job is to get you in that car, open the sunroof, turn on your favorite stereo. If it's nice out, they'll roll down the windows. But his job is to sell you on that vehicle. He wants you emotionally attached to that vehicle. He's gonna, if he's good, he's gonna offer to take pictures with your phone of you in the vehicle so you can post them on Facebook or Instagram. You know, he wants you in love with that car. So that's his job. That's what he's going to do for that first 90 minutes. Now, after that, you're going to see the closer. The closer, what his job is to kind of get your budget and your numbers a little more in line. A lot of them use the old method of they call it a four square. And it's basically he'll just draw a four square. He'll put cost of the vehicle, your trade-in, what you want your payment to be, and he'll just start moving numbers around until you see something you like, and then you're good to go. But he's going to spend some time with you. He's typically going to spend an hour, maybe 2 hours if you're going back and forth on the pricing. So you get done with the closer. You think you've agreed on a price. Done with the closer. What his job is to get you then immediately into the finance department, or F&I, it's finance and insurance. So he's going to get you in there right away. What I'm going to say at that moment, right before you go into the finance department, take a break. Take a break. Go have a cup of coffee. Go outside, get some fresh air. They're not going to like that because they want you, you've been there, 4 or 5 hours already. They want you tired. They want you ready to go. They just want you to sign and get out. This is the time you're going to need to pay attention in the finance department because this is where the signatures come and this is where it gets real. So you want to pay attention. You want to be your best self. So take a break, take a breath. Like I said, grab a cup of coffee, glass of water, go get some fresh air. And then you're going to come in and see the finance manager. And what he's going to do is his job is to get all the paperwork signed, but his main job is that's where they're going to make the money. He's going to sell you overpriced gap. He's going to sell you overpriced warranty, overpriced tire protections, paint and fabric sealants, all of it. They overcharge for it because they make a lot of money there. Interest rates. He's going to talk you into financing with the dealership instead of your credit union because he wants to get paid for the interest rate. Of course, it's going to be at a higher rate, but that's what you got to be careful of. So you want to be paying attention when that happens. I'm going to give you a little story. One of the finance managers I used to work with, he would not see anybody in his office until they'd been at the dealership a minimum of 4 hours. That was his role. And the reason he did it was because he wanted them ready to go. He wanted them a little anxious to get out of there, a little upset because they've been there longer than they thought they should be. And he just wanted them not paying attention. He wanted them tired, sign paperwork, and go. And what he would do is he would come out and he would bring that big, long 553. I'm sure you're all familiar with that, the purchase order, the 553. He'll bring it out. And he'll be showing you all the numbers and all the cool coverages that you get with your car because he really likes you and he thinks you're a really nice guy. Granted, you just met the guy 5 minutes ago, but he's going to tell you all that, right? And you're going to get down to the payment part and say you've agreed on a $300 a month payment. Your payment now is going to be $450 a month. So $500 a month, depending on what he's stacked in it. Of course, your reaction is going to be like, wait, $450 a month. We talked, it was going to be $300 a month. He's going to say, oh, yeah, no problem. The car's $300 a month, but you're going to want to protect your investment. You're going to want the warranties, and you're going to want the fabric protections, and you're going to want the gap protection. I've seen your credit score. I know you can afford it. Don't you want to protect your car? He's going to hardball you a little bit there. A lot of people will say, yeah, okay, you're right, and they'll sign and go on their way. But most of the people, they're not fools. They're not going to do it. They're going to say, no, wait a second. I'm not going to pay $150 more a month. That's not what we agreed on. He's going to try to hard sell you a little bit more. And then he's going to come back and be like, I really like you guys. You're a nice couple, or you're a nice person. I really want to help you out. Or, we really need to get this car done. I've almost got my bonus. I just need this car to go. Let me see what I can do for you. Let me see how I can help these numbers. And he's going to leave. And he would leave the members in his office, he would leave him in there for 30 to 40 minutes. He'd go have a cigarette, he'd go have a lunch break, but he would leave them in there for a while because he wanted them getting agitated again, ready to leave and not paying attention. And he'd come back, he'd be like, you know what, I got great news for you. I have all that we talked about, all the warranties and the gap and all the coverages, and it's only going to cost you a little bit more a month. So your payment went up to $350 a month. But come on, we all know you can collect cans and get that $50 a month. That's easy. Let's protect your investment. Go ahead and sign here. We're going to get you on the road so that way you can get home and show off your car. And most people are going to sign because they think they got all that stuff for not much more. But what happens is because you're tired and you just want to get out of there and you trust this guy you just met, he extended your term. So he'll take a 60-month term and extend it to 72 or 84 months, whatever he feels he needs to drop that payment back down. Because you've stopped negotiating about the price of the vehicle and you started negotiating payment. And when you do that, that's when they mess with the back numbers, the term, and your interest rates. They'll mess with those numbers to get the payment at where you want. And they'll tell you, well, to get this payment, you have to finance with us. Well, of course, because he wants to extend the term and up the interest rate. And if he extends the term out to say 72 months and the payment drops under that 300 that you agreed about, they'll raise your interest rate to get the payment just over the 300 that you talked about. Because you'll never pay what you talked about. It'll always be a little bit more. So he'll raise the interest rate to get that payment a little bit more. So what I was telling you earlier about having your pre-approval, knowing what your budget should be, knowing what your interest rate should be, and knowing what your payment should be. If you're paying attention at that point, looking at those numbers, you can look and say, hey, look, my term went up. Why did it go up? And then you look at your interest. Why did my interest rate go up? Why am I dealer financing? So that's one of the tricks you want to pay attention to when you get into that department. Right before you go in, remember, Tim told me, take a break. Go take a breath, go get a cup of coffee, because this is where you're going to want to pay attention to all the numbers. Don't let the dealers fool you and talk you into paying a payment. You have to negotiate the price of the vehicle, not the payment, because they will move numbers around. Use Autoland. We're here to help you. No haggle with us. You don't have to worry about sitting in a finance manager's office or sitting in a dealership for anywhere from 6 to 7 hours. And another thing I'm going to tell you with dealerships, don't sign anything until you're comfortable signing the contract at the end of the deal. Throughout the deal, they're going to try to get you to sign paperwork. And what they're doing is they're mentally trying to get you to commit. Oh, I signed. Okay, it's mine. Okay, I signed. It's mine. So don't sign anything. Just tell me, I'm not signing anything until the end of the deal. And at the end of the deal, that's when you're going to want to look at that 553, make sure all the numbers line up properly, make sure your interest rate is where it's supposed to be if you finance with the dealership. Or just avoid that whole hassle. Keep your financing with your credit union and not have to worry about that. So, but don't sign anything until you feel comfortable and confident that it's a good contract. All right, that was long with the dealerships. Private party purchase. Now, it's another way to purchase a vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle. Individuals selling their cars, you can do that. If you do that, make sure it's about $39 to get a Carfax. It's well worth it. Run the Carfax, get the Carfax on that vehicle, and make sure you know where the car's coming from, what the car's been through. Has it had maintenance done? It will show you some maintenance that's been done on the Carfax. It's going to show you if there's been any major accidents or minor accidents, but that's big. You want to make sure you look at that Carfax and see where it's originated and if there's any history on the vehicle. Test drive. Obviously, you're going to want to test drive a private party purchase. A lot of people will tell you, you know what, I'm not really comfortable with you test driving my car. I don't know you. And people buy it without test driving. And then you get down the road and it's transmission slipping or it's making a weird noise and you bought it. So it's yours. So make sure you test drive the vehicle. If they don't feel comfortable with you driving the car, don't buy that car because there's a reason for it. Also, if you're going to meet a person to drive their vehicle, make sure you meet at a safe location. I'll give you an example. Where I live locally, the sheriff's department has 2 parking spots reserved for that exact reason, to meet people to buy something. So that way it's a safe location. So sheriff's department, police station, fire department, always make sure that it's a public place that's safe. People are scary out there. Most of us are honest, but there's some very dishonest people out there. And we have some horror stories to go with that. So make sure it's a safe location. Make sure you feel safe. If the deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. If your gut's telling you get out of there, leave. Just be careful with that. But always look at the condition of the car when you're buying a pre-owned vehicle from individual party, or even if you're buying from a dealership. A couple things you're going to want to look at, give you some tricks. You're going to look under the seat. So look under the driver's seat and the passenger seat. People, when they clean their cars, typically just clean surfaces. They don't really get down and dirty and clean it, you know? So you're going to want to look under the seat and see how grimy, how much food is under the seat. If there's clean under there, then chances are they took good care of their car. If it's not, it'll kind of give you an insight to what the car looked like. Another trick is in the trunk. Pull the trunk tray out so you can see where like the spare tire normally is, and look how bad that is in there. If you see mold growing in there, you know that car was not kept up well. But if it's clean back there, then chances are the car was kept clean. And then again, take it for a test drive. Just get it up to freeway speeds. Make sure there's no weird wobbles or shakes or noises or anything like that. Okay. New, used, and leasing. So new cars, like we talked about, they're wonderful. You can get that new car smell. They're going to be in optimal condition. They have the latest technology, which is great. All the new safety features, which is wonderful. Nice thing too, when you're buying new, is you can customize the vehicle. If you want to order a vehicle exactly the way you want it, you can do that. It's easy to do. Autoland, we can take care of that for you. If we don't locate the exact vehicle you want, we can have it built for you. And that happens a lot with trucks. When people are buying big trucks to tow their trailers, they want specific things on it, and we can build those out, which is really nice. But you are going to have a higher monthly payment because it's a new vehicle, and your value does depreciate. That is true. When you drive it off the lot, it does depreciate a little bit. So that's kind of the downfall on a new one. Now on a pre-owned vehicle, it's great because they're less expensive, right? You don't have to pay that depreciation. So you get more for your money with a pre-owned vehicle. But there is a trade-off. You're going to have more wear and tear on the vehicle. There could be some dings, dents. There could be, maybe a couple stains or dirt marks inside. You don't really know the history of the car. Sure, you've got the Carfax, so you know base history, but you don't know, maintenance. I don't know. You don't really know with that kind of vehicle. And there may be some maintenance costs involved. So when you buy a pre-owned vehicle from somebody, unless they can show you the oil change was just done, go get it serviced. Have your mechanic check it out and get the maintenance done that's needed. Leasing, great thing about leasing is it's a really low payment for a really nice car. So, but it is short term. It's not your vehicle. It is a leased vehicle. You get more car for your money, but it's really not your car. There's no ownership involved. There's a lease contract involved. So there's a term. So you only get to own it for a certain period of time. And there's mileage limitations. All that stuff you see on TV, the zero drive off, low mileage lease. Well, if you look at the fine print, it's usually about 10,000 miles or less is what that lease is going to be for. The average in Southern California driving per year is 12 to 15,000 miles per year. That's what normal people drive. So if you're getting that low cost lease, be careful that you're not getting the low mileage lease as well if you're going to drive over 10,000 miles, because typically they're going to charge you about 25 to 35 cents a mile that you go over what was allotted for that lease. So you have to pay attention to that as well in the lease. Also, the condition of the car is everything. When you return a lease, the condition of the car has to be almost perfect, or they're going to dock you and charge you for that. So you got to really be careful with leasing. If you do lease, make sure you get gap insurance in case something happens to it, it is covered. But make sure that the leasing is right for you if you're going to lease. If you drive 15, 16,000 miles a year, a lease probably isn't going to be for you. If you have parking, they're ding the doors all the time, lease might not be for you. So pay attention to that. Dealer financing, rebates, leasing. We talked about leasing already, but dealer financing, right now you're going to see those commercials all over the place, 0% special financing. And it is out there. Typically though, it's going to be tier 1 plus credit or better. So that's going to be usually 800 FICO or better on that 0%. A lot of people think, well, I don't quite have that, but I'm close. Maybe I'll get close to the 0%. That's not how dealerships work. You either get the 0% or boom, they're going to put you at the 3% or higher. So 0%, it's very select few. And also what you got to pay attention to on the 0% is how long is that term? Am I getting the 0% for 72 months or is it only for 60 months? Because if it's only for 60 months, it's going to be a higher payment. So you want to pay attention to that. Now 0% versus rebate. Now, if you do opt in to take the 0% financing, be careful that you're not losing a rebate to get that 0%. Typically, they do not go hand in hand. If you get the 0%, you don't get the rebate. You get the rebate, you don't get the 0%. So make sure that you're not giving up a rebate to get the 0%. I'd say 90% of the time, the rebate is going to be more money saved than the 0%. So don't lose the rebate to get the 0%. You don't have to dealer finance. One of the tricks dealers will tell you is, well, you have to finance with us to get this price. That's not true. And if they say that to you, say, you know what, I'm out. And get up and walk away. And I promise you, before your foot hits that door sill, they're going to be calling you back in. Oh, just kidding, just kidding. Come on in, let's get you squared away. You don't have to finance with the dealer to get that deal. So don't let them trick you into that. Dealers make money on the interest rate. So that's why they want to up your interest rate and they want you to finance with them. So don't fall for it. Don't let them do that. Trade in. So this is really important. Know what your trade is worth before you go to a dealership. You know, if you go into a dealership, kind of the thing we used to always talk about amongst ourselves at the dealership was, I'm not going to sell it and buy it. And what they mean by that is, I'm not going to tell you how much I'm going to give you for your car. You tell me what you want, and I'll tell you yes or no. So if you go in and say your car is worth $10,000, and you go in, you don't know it's worth $10,000, they're going to ask you, well, what do you want to get for your trade? Like, I don't know. Can I get $4,000 or $5,000 for it? Yeah, no problem. They just made $4,000 or $5,000 on your trade-in. So know what it's worth, because they're not going to be honest about it. Kelley Blue Book is a wonderful way to get what your value is worth. Now be realistic though, when you do go into Kelley Blue Book, there are different price points. So you can look at wholesale value, retail value, and trade-in value. If you're trading in a vehicle, typically wholesale value is about what it's going to be, because they have to recondition the vehicle and then put it back on the lot and still make a little bit of a profit. So that's typically where you're going to be on that. Also, you're going to want to pay attention. You know, if you're selling a Suburban and gas is $5 a gallon, Kelley Blue Book may rate it high, but because it's $5 a gallon, it gets more fuel mileage. It's going to affect the value of the vehicle. And that's what we mean by market value is, you know, kind of know what the market's selling your vehicle for. A couple of good research tools. You know, you can go on Auto Trader and take a look and see what your cars are selling for Auto Trader. Now, again, that's going to be full retail because people want to get 100% of their money. It'll kind of give you a ballpark. Condition is everything when it comes to a trade-in. The cleaner the vehicle and the less damage on the vehicle, the more equipped the vehicle comes, the better off you are to get top dollar for your vehicle. If it comes in and it's dirty and it's not clean, all the dealership's going to think is, what else isn't taken care of on this car? What else am I going to have to do to take care of this car? Go get it cleaned. Go get it washed. Spend the $30 and get the good car wash and have them vacuum it and wash it and shine up the tires. Because if it comes in that clean, their first thought is going to be, we took care of this car. It's going to be good. I'm not going to have to put a bunch of money into it to get it on the lot. So condition is everything when you trade in a vehicle. So make sure you get it clean, vacuum under the seats, make sure it's in shiny condition. And then, like I said, with Auto Trader, you can check local prices to see what retail value is to make sure you're not getting taken advantage of. Credit union difference, you know, go online, go to South Bay CU at autoland.com or just South Bay CU Credit Union. You can apply for your loan right there on their website. You can refinance your car. Say you want to refinance or you're buying out your lease. You can do all that right there on their website. The current rates, if you want to see, you know, what kind of rates should I get for my credit score, shows everything right there. It makes it so easy for you. And again, it's your credit union, so they have your best interests in mind. So check them out. If you do click on the Autoland link, this is what you're going to see. It's a co-branded website. You can take a look here. You can look at new cars. You know, say you want to buy an F-150. There's probably 150 ways to build an F-150, right? Different colors, different trim, different options. You can check all that out right here. You can spin the vehicle around so you can see all the different views, inside, outside. Oh, it's really fun. Especially if you're a car guy like me, it's just fun to look at the new cars. Pre-owned cars, we have over 2,000 pre-owned vehicles on our website. All of our pre-owned cars come with a buyback guarantee. They come with a 3-month warranty on them, and we deliver. We make it really easy for you on that. And we have 2,000 cars on our site. You can find something. And then trade-in, of course. Our trade-in process is really easy. You know, you go to the dealership for a trade-in, you get one guy, the used car manager, is going to look at your car, and he's going to give you a price for his area. Well, with Autoland, we have 8 wholesalers all throughout California that are going to want your vehicle, and they're going to give us bids on your vehicle. So we give you the highest bid. Whatever the highest bid is, we let you know, and we do the trade-in that way. So it's really easy. You just want to get rid of a car. You have an extra car, we'll buy it from you. But yeah, check out our website. Really easy. Our goal is to make your car buying service easy. We don't want it difficult. Everything I explained that happens at the dealership, we don't want you to have to go through that. We want to help you. We want to make it easy. We're a member benefit and we want to continue to be a member benefit. So if we can benefit you, that's what we're here for. We want to make it easy and make it fun. So please contact South Bay Credit Union to get your pre-approval. Remember, always get your pre-approval first. And then we hope you consider using Autoland to make your purchase easy. We'll deliver it to you. It's easy. Questions? Do we have any questions? I am unable to see the chat, so I don't know.
Hi, Tim. This is Heather. Looks like there was one question, and it may be David Ellings might be able to answer this. It's in regards to financing. And it says, does being self-employed affect pre-approval amounts?
Okay, hello, and let's see here. Justin, thank you for that question. So when we're looking at pre-approvals, we're looking at the amounts that you are looking for. So we'll get an idea of what you can afford and what you want to buy. So a lot goes into that pre-approval. If we feel that you are overextended, your pre-approval might be a little less than what you may want. So we're looking at your credit risk and your earnings and your ability to repay the loan.
So it looks like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Looks like that is all the questions for now. We will be sending out a follow-up email to the attendants. It will include links for pre-approval information for Autoland. We'll also be including the recording of this presentation, so you can feel free to watch it back. If any other questions do arise later on, maybe as you're thinking through the presentation, please feel free to reach out to us. Contact information was on your email, and we will be sending that out again as well. But we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer any questions. Feel free to reach out. Sarah Aguilar is a great resource for you. #1 processor with South Bay Credit Union. More than happy. She'll bend over backwards to help you guys out and answer any questions. I'll be including her information, contact information as well. So please reach out, ask any questions, see about a pre-approval, ask all the questions before we submit a pre-approval if that makes you feel comfortable. But we're here to help. South Bay Credit Union and Autoland, we are your auto buying resources, and we'd love to hear from you guys. I think that concludes, unless Tim, you have anything else you want to close out with?
I am good. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We really appreciate it, and we are happy to help.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, and have a great evening.